Back shot.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're all well. Welcome to episode 2 of our Edinburgh by Night story, Rising Sun, Vampire the Masquerade actual play. Um, I hope you're good this evening. Before we do our intros, I'm just going to read my little disclaimer. This is the world of darkness. It is a grim parallel to our own reality where monsters lurk in the shadows. And for our story here, we look into the world of kindred, the vampires who rule a city from the shadows. Due to the dark nature of this version of reality, our topics may touch against themes which are dark and disturbing. Specifically, there will be themes of off-balance power dynamics, cult activities, and the loss of agency of our characters when they succumb to their own inner beasts, and the violent loss of control that can occur during this time. We've discussed our lines and veils, and we have safety measures in place to look after our own well-being, but it's important that you're also looking after your own. So, as such, we would, if you need to step away, sorry, at any time, we would not judge you. In fact, we would support that self-care. That being said, let us introduce our players and our character this evening, starting with Penitent.
Hello, everyone. My name is Penitent. I use he and they pronouns, and this evening I will be playing Lewis Cowan, who uses he, him pronouns, our Tremere Seneschal.
Hello, I'm Syrinx, she, her, and tonight I'll be playing Sloane, your Ventrue sheriff, and I would say your favorite Ventrue, but let's be honest, Ventrue is no one's favorite, so let's skip that.
Howdy, I'm Magpie. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Altair, who is your local vampire? Yeah, we could just say vampire. He uses he, him pronouns.
Hi everyone, my name is Satan, or less a vamp on the internet. I use whatever pronoun fits the bit. And I'm playing Dragoslav Petrovic. He is our local Nosferatu Primogen, and he's just a ray of sunshine.
Yeah, speaking of sunshine. And I am Emma Hamalu on the internet. I use they them pronouns, and I am the storyteller this evening. Little disclaimer before we get going. This chronicle uses elements of the canon story surrounding the fall of London in 2012. However, we are very much telling our own story that runs alongside it during 2011. Some events or characters may be adapted, added, or left out. We're just here to have a good time. Last week, we met our 4 kindred, people who hold position within the Camarilla Council of Edinburgh. On this cold November night, a series of concerning occurrences presented themselves to each of our kindred. The remains of a small ritual site with burned fabric, some strange red mold and red-stained water in the sewers, mortals taking suddenly ill in Greyfriars Kirkyard. Maybe these things are connected, or maybe there's just several concerning things all happening at once. We then observed an Elysium at the National Galleries of Scotland, and our kindred circled one another to catch up, and we got to observe some of their dynamics. Our Tremere Primogen spoke with his Malkavian counterpart, and he was warned about the coming daylight and how it might burn people. Our sheriff also approached the Nosferatu Primogen to probe his awareness of the area known to be a haven to some lower rung, newly resident kindred. He did not have the intel at the moment, but promised to look into the issue. Our hound also grabbed the sheriff to report in about the concerns surrounding the found ritual site. The job that led to the discovery is something that seems to anger the sheriff, but they moved past this and agreed that this is something that needs looked into. We ended with our hound catching sight of the painting the Malkavian Primogen was staring at. The woman in the painting gazing intensely off the canvas, and sunlight was seen pouring out of the painting. The sight let something click for the hound. The singed fabric in their hand was not burned by fire, but by the sun. We join our kindred once again at the start of their evenings. Can I ask each of you now to roll a rouse check for me at the start of your night? And we'll go around the table and say what the start of your night looks like. So, rouse checks first, and when you are ready, Penitent, you can let me know what the start of your night looks like.
Just give me one.
I
There we
can't
are.
bestial fail a rouse check, right?
No,
No.
you're good.
Thank God.
That would, yeah, listen, that would really suck.
I just get really hangry.
You
Just
get
turn
So
to
into
do-
hunger.
he turns into a bitch as opposed to how he regular is.
Yeah, ray of sunshine. Okay.
Yeah, my evening starts with me. I think my evening starts with me checking sort of the wards on my haven and things like that. I think they're
Hmm.
quite important to me, I think, and especially because things are going a bit strange at the moment and a bit odd. I think it's worth me double checking that things are up and running. So I think I spend some time effectively doing maintenance on my haven.
Please, if you will, roll an intelligence occult for me. Technically your speciality would count for this because it's magic that put the wards there in the first place.
Sorry, give me a moment. There we are.
Of course.
Still forgetting how sometimes forget how Foundry works.
Mm.
There we are. There's 3 successes.
He's okay. I think 3 is enough to know that when you check some of these wards, you might expect them to be either static in condition of what they were the last time you checked and did maintenance, or perhaps depreciating in a way where you just need to, top things off, make sure everything is a-okay. What you find is they feel almost as if they were freshly cast. You can still feel the blood sorcery in the air, as intense as when one first casts a ritual, which is perhaps surprising. But at 3 successes, I would say you don't have any theories right now for why that might be. It's just something of note when you do it. So not only do they not need checked or adapted or made more secure, if anything, they feel just as, if not slightly more secure than they were the last time you checked.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So yeah, you can be pottering about your haven, checking on those things. So you feel the slight edge of hunger ever present when you wake, and it required just that little bit more vitae to get you up this evening, hence finding yourself a little hungrier than you were when you went to your day sleep. So 2's nothing major, 2's not I must eat right now, but as you are beings of hunger and there is only very particular circumstances where you don't feel it, this is manageable for a person of your age and stature. Okay, we can leave you there with that. So Sloane, what does the start of your night look like?
It's all pretty much scheduled
Mm.
because last night we ended off with, well, there is a meeting that I have to at least be present at for a small while. And then there's also the fact of checking up on, well, if Dietrich actually did his job and scratched the columns that we needed to scratch, and also planning to do a little bit of a check, internal restructuring to see if, well, if one person is seeming to prove that their job is not useful anymore, there might be others.
Yeah. Let's see. I would like a wits investigation roll, I would say. I see that you have a speciality. Find dirt. Maybe not necessarily applicable to this instance right now, but if you could roll for me while you just reassess the structure of your business, perhaps looking at reports or comments made by your staff that seemed to allude to somebody who's showing promise, and somebody who could do with a little lifting up towards the opportunity for success. Okay. 3's not bad. 3, I think Dietrich has done his job. So that part of things is taken care of. The meeting goes by fairly swiftly because the people around you know that efficiency is key. And having long drawn out meetings that absolutely could have been an email are not something that is favored. So they're to the point and efficient about things that actually need discussed. And after that point, you're able to have a look through. There's 3 people who maybe possibly could be given this opportunity. Best approach for that is perhaps to schedule some manner of interview or a trial for these people to see if they have what it takes.
And I will gladly distribute that to someone who has the time for it.
Yeah. Delegate.
Absolutely. So I think that's a thing that I still do, is delegate that idea that I have, but I'm like, I will not be doing that myself. Also, since those talks would happen in the evening with me, it's all to also make it as not suspicious as possible for that. So
Yeah. Yeah, and much like with Lewis, you find yourself perhaps a little more on edge or terse in how you speak, because you have that slight prowling at the edge of the inner cage, a little bit of hunger at your teeth. But you're able to make your way through the start of your evening where you still have to deal with the mortal connections before you move on to the immortal. Altair, what does the start of your evening look like?
So I think earlier in the day, or just before the passing of sort of last night, Altair would have sent a little message to one of his contacts to ask if during the daytime someone could potentially head to one of the older bookstores, head to one of the local sort of libraries, just to see if there's anything that they could find that made mention to sort of folklore of the area, specifically in relation to the sun.
Mm.
Or anything to do with sunlight in the arts. And I think he has potted off to Carlton Hill. It's not too far away from his sort of haven. And there's a bench that looks out towards Leith. He has parked himself there, hoping it'll be a little bit quieter. Has shoved the stack of books next to himself. And maybe for 20 minutes at a time, he is just sitting quietly. He's got the fabric in hand and he's listening. He's not sure what he's listening to. He's not sure why it works sometimes, but he is sitting quietly and just listening to see if the breeze brings him any sort of information. Whether that does or doesn't, he will occasionally go through the books, sort of by a little lamplight to see if there's anything just of interest.
Okay. I am gonna ask for 2 rolls. For the second one, because it's a bit more about a supernatural awareness, if you have any disciplines or merits or what have you to kind of throw at it, you can. First one, I would like an intelligence occult for doing research. And then it would be a wits awareness roll for when you're sitting out seeing what the universe is trying to tell you.
So, occult
And
intelligence?
intelligence, yeah.
Cool beans. Reroll.
Okay. Lots of
Strength.
threes today. Triple threes.
Yeah. And then wits awareness. Where did you go? There you are. Oh,
Ooh. Now, we could roll on what might happen with a bestial failure in that instance. I will give you the opportunity, should you wish, to willpower reroll up to 3 of those failed dice if you want to try and turn the tides of fate.
potentially. I've got them to burn.
Yeah, why not? Smoke 'em
She
if you
says,
got 'em,
she
right?
says hopefully.
Already in the first
Uh,
roll of the game, like first roll of the session, you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
got him to burn.
Yeah.
It's
Honey, there's
fine.
2.5 more hours.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not fine.
It's not fine. It's double not fine.
Oh dear.
Okay. So, um for your initial research, in terms of local folklore that pertains to the sun, you're able to find two. One is just sort of broader uh old British Celtic deity of Belenus, who's a shining solar chariot god that is linked to Beltane, which definitely has connections. There's also Lugh, Lugh, if you were writing it, known for his radiant sun-like appearance and light. Technically speaking, Bridie or Bridget, depending on whether you're looking at the Irish or Scottish, similar sort of thing, associated with fire and the coming of spring, which loosely, but you're more focused on sun than light in a way in which fire can be. So there's a couple things for you to do a bit of a read through. None of it seems to click, and I think occasionally when you're doing this kind of research, you're used to doing the reading, finding the books, flicking over pages, listening to people, watching something, and just an instinct in you tends to click into place when you feel like you found a thread, tied to totally normal things about your heritage, Altair, your bloodline. But none of that really clicks here. There's like a slight fluttering when you read about Belinus, but it doesn't feel like that's the right answer. It just feels like there's a Venn diagram perhaps going on where there's elements to that thread that shares color or texture with what you're trying to look for. Anything further than that you're not able to find right away, but it lets you know that perhaps there is something to that of a deity and the sun and chariots. So it feels right flavor, wrong drink, I guess. And I love how weird that analogy sounds, but it makes perfect sense for your bloodline and why you get those
Yes.
instincts that you do. And then you go outside. And I think, let me look up something.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Love, it's just an immediate thing. It doesn't matter what kind of game. As
did
soon
I
as this was like,
do?
I need to look up something, and everyone's like, oh god.
It's not just that I need to look up a thing. It's the and then you go outside and then like
I have to look up something.
Oh dear.
I need to decide which flavor of fuck up happens. Okay.
Laugh frenzy.
Not quite frenzy. Your beast is kind of it's busy doing its thing. You're only at 1 hunger. You're feeling fine. Okay. I think you go outside and you sit, seeing what the wind can bring you and any instincts out there that might try to land in your consciousness. And while you're doing it, you maybe have a moment where your eyes are closed or you're just kind of like letting yourself open up mentally and closing down your other basic senses. And when you do, there's this fraction of a moment where you feel warmth on your skin. And the first instinct with that is, God, I haven't felt that in just an obscene amount of time. The kind of comfort that that can bring, and the way that your body tells you it's something that you need, right? We as human beings need sunlight. And you feel that instinct at first, and then your beast sort of wakens up within you while you're busy like, this is great. And it's like, yo, actually the sun is really not good. And that's not something that we want or need. And like there's this sudden rise of panic inside of you as you open up your eyes, and you will feel not physical pain, not taking injury, but the sensation sort of is present in a ghostly way, slightly outside of your physical reality, but your spiritual self feels like it has been burned by the sun. And it's going to leave you a little bit shaken for a while your beast is fully convinced that it just experienced something traumatic and that normally it would try to run away from, but your physical self is saying, but I have it, like, you need to settle down. We're actually okay. And that confusion means that at least for, I would say, until we've kind of hit our break, feels reasonable. You are currently going to be at a 2 dice penalty for things that involve dexterity, manipulation, composure, and wits. I can repeat that list if needed. Dexterity, manipulation, composure, and wits, because you're just a little out of sorts. Now, that is a bestial failure, but I like to fail forward in this story. There's something about what just happened to you that feels connected. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
So, something was learned in like the worst way possible. So yeah, you are rattled, to say the least. And we will leave you there for that moment, trying to walk yourself back off. It's like we're okay. We're
Walk it
okay.
out.
We're okay. Yeah. And we will go to our fourth and final kindred to see what the start of your evening looks like, Dragoslav.
Well, I think by the time we get to him, he is already up and dressed. We kind of see the heavy mud and filth-soaked boots walking through the sewers. Um, his puddles of water that kind of gather around. We see as he walks by. There's no reflection. It's just a boot against the puddle, but nothing shows. As he is I think he's getting information back and forth. He last session he had set out his goals to start checking out what our lovely sheriff had pointed him towards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he definitely had Roxana and Static go there during the day, that area, and check it out. Because Static is our muscle, and Roxana has sense the beast, so they can sense the beast within mortals and vampires and other supernatural. So it might work as like a little location, like trying to see if there's anything
Early warning
happening. Yeah,
system.
early warning
Yeah.
system.
Mm-hmm.
And he had also wanted to check in with Damiana and see if they can like find any sort of, I'm not a hacker, so I'm gonna be very vague. It's like anything that they can enter in that area, any computers, any businesses, any activity that's going on in that area, and try and pinpoint if anything suspicious kind of like uh passes by.
Mm-hmm.
Any suspicious information or new connections, recent connections that have been bought, recent installation of internet, recent
Yeah.
uh buildings that have been bought, different recent development, stuff like that.
Okay. So, what I'm gonna ask, you're gonna be getting information regardless. I'm gonna ask you to make a roll just to kind of layer in things that they have been capable of and your accessing of their information, etc. If I could get an intelligence investigation roll from you.
Now, I do have the merit library, which gives me extra dice in investigation, but I don't know if it doesn't say
Yeah,
specifically that it's like book or technology based. It's just you get extra because it's in my haven.
yeah, given the type of NOS that you are and the goals that you have, I would allow it to kind of extend towards internet database
Okay.
on top of.
So
I'm happy to do that.
intelligence
Is that what Raw says?
investigation.
I don't even know, but it's my game, so.
And then add custom modifier, library, and tool. I believe.
Yeah. So just a little bit of success there with 7. So yeah, don't you just love it when Nosferatu?
We love when the nos nosses.
Yeah, yeah. So you're gonna get some reports sent to you. Some of it's gonna be text messages. You might even have like reports that were just left in your haven for you to find.
It's my little drop off point.
Yeah. That they have identified a location for you. They know that there is definitely kindred. They believe ghoul as well. And there's I think Damiana has been able to get has access point, but is going to await further instructions for what you want them to do with it. Access to the phone of a ghoul that is associated with this household. It was the easiest point of entry because, according to them, their own security is shit. Like this person clearly has done nothing to protect themselves in any way from this sort of behavior.
I love when people are stupid.
So it was like, we've got an in, so just awaiting instruction for what you want them to do with that.
Okay.
The others have said that they have found this area. It is towards the coastline, so it is definitely
Coastline.
outer Edinburgh, and it is Portobello.
Portobello.
Portobello, yeah.
Like the
Portobello.
mushroom.
Yeah, kind of. So they have a little place that's down sort of near the coastline in that area. And they've scoped it out to know that they're there and they're present. But again, haven't gone any further on infiltration or gathering intel beyond that they've seen this. There is 4, they estimate, unless any have been staying inside and not coming outside, 4 kindred. And it looks like there's 2 to 3 ghouls that they've been able to see.
Okay. And the sheriff's request was what? Just to see what was happening or to confirm if there was kindred activity?
Yeah, I believe so. Sloan, you can confirm if there was anything else, but I believe it was just, can you get me some intel about where?
Yeah, I wanted to know how many, what activity, stuff like that.
They will say it, judging from the way that it seems to work, they've followed a couple of the ghouls to another location that is also within the same area.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Okay.
still in Portobello.
So 2
And
locations.
yeah, this place though appears to be more public facing because although they can't guarantee what's actually going on the inside, it can be quite apparent that like people are going to visit, they will head inside, they'll be there for anywhere between 5 to 20 to 30 minutes and then leave again. So they suspect probably drug dealing, but
Okay.
it's not confirmed because they haven't gone in to fully survey the inside yet. They are awaiting further instruction.
Okay. I will have Damiana see if they can get the GPS location of that phone.
Okay.
And if there's any text messages or any type of messages that they can go through, see what exactly, like, get a sense of what their business and what they're doing, if they're stupid enough to discuss things, you know?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can pass on that instruction. So they will then
Mhm.
work on that from now
Mm.
through
Thank you.
today and tomorrow. Mhm.
He after he's done with that, he pulls up a on his computer and you just see him transferring money to different bank accounts.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
He
Very
pays
good.
his schools.
Yeah.
Depends on their like performance, but you know.
True. All right. So the start of our evenings is mixed and varied but active all. I think to frame our next scene, at some point, Sloane and Altair had this conversation at the end of our last session where we we saw the discussion around this piece of evidence to something that seems suspicious in some way. Um, I am curious who would touch base between the two of you to perhaps reconvene to discuss that further.
Unless we want to be surprised.
Uh-huh.
I think that getting a short message to have another catch up meeting basically would be a thing that Sloan would do. And
Mhm.
I think it would even be like funny to frame it as like a, for example, like a I can almost imagine like a Google a Teams like invite stuff, but it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
Would you
online.
yeah,
like to
yeah.
add this meeting to your Google calendars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Incredible.
it's not just it's that way it's like it's not a question, it's like expected for you to be there,
Mm.
basically.
Yeah.
Which is very much the vibe. It's like you're expected to be here at this time.
You're not
Mhm.
asking, you're telling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So we will tune in. What is the location, Sloan, for where you have assigned this meeting?
I'd love to as much as I can, I keep this separate from like my um place and my offices. So I think I would usually use some kind of co-working space and like have a an office that's rented there
Mm-hmm.
for stuff like this.
Excellent.
That's definitely the vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it somewhere that you have put resources and time into ensuring that it is secure from various things?
Yes, because this is very much attended for more sheriff-related duties.
Yeah.
So we don't want it to be the Haven. We don't want it to be the mortal
No.
line. We need it to be something else.
Sure. So, perhaps even warded by some favors back and forth between you and the Tremere, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, for a tap.
Yeah.
You do something for me and I'll do something for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. You gotta engage in frustration, you know? So,
We love working together in the Camarilla.
it's just, yeah, it's community spirit, honestly. Um, so we will tune into this scene with Altair showing up to this meeting. Does Altair tend to show up on time, early, late? Heaven
He's an
forbid.
early bird.
Yeah.
He is a 15 minutes earlier or he will combust sort of person.
Yes, understood. Same.
I think would sort of get to the outside section and will try and tidy himself up a little bit. He has gone suited and booted as he usually is for these meetings, so kind of regular sort of pinstripe trousers, nice pair of like well polished and bold shoes, a sort of brocade jacket that is maybe a little bit kind of more in keeping with his style. Um, but there is no makeup on. His hair is loose, and you can tell that he's been kind of sort of running his hands through it, not out of any sort of kind of vanity, but out of this is the only thing I have right now to keep me sort of grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think looks rattled, looks a little bit sort of out of his usual, but is evidently trying to keep a sort of lid on it as he makes his way in.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I
Okay.
think we'll make his way up to the exact sort of meeting pod that they've booked.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're there and you knock on the door, you get a curt like enter from inside. And once you go inside, it's very much a um it is like an office space, but it's not really personalized in any way. It would also not be the first time that Altair was in there. And it's this kind of meeting space where I would imagine like the walls are glass, but they have curtains that you can draw basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the curtains are open for now, so there's that. Yeah, and Sloane will be standing on like a further side while she was looking through the window. And will turn as you enter. You made it. Great. How has your night been?
I think we would rather be beneficial if we sat down and had a chat, a little outside of the usual.
Outside, you can sit. Sure.
Immediately, just sort of will quite heavily sort of sack of potatoes, sit down, leans both arms onto the sort of I guess mid table. I think we're dealing with something a little bit out of our not necessarily out of our depth, but necessarily out of what we're used to.
Okay, well, if it's not out of depth, then I don't see the problem, even if it's not a useful thing. I mean, surely a lot of us have been around for a long time. Surely whatever is happening, someone has seen it before. New things rarely tend to happen.
I don't know about this one. And he's going to put the burned cloth back down again in the middle of the table.
Then I suggest instead of rattling, you start talking in a more cohesive way.
I'm trying. This wasn't burned by fire. I know for a fact this wasn't burned by fire. This was burned by sunlight. And I'm concerned there's something deeper going on. I was burned. I was sitting outside. It was perfectly dark out. It was, and he'll sort of gesture outside of the window, outside of the window. It was perhaps 10 minutes ago, absolute maximum. I was on my way here. I've been looking into things, and you know how I get these feelings about things, and usually they're a little bit right. I mean, sometimes they're completely off the books, but sometimes they're incredibly right, and I know.
You're rambling. Show me the burns.
They're not physical. I can feel it. I can feel it in here. I know there's something going on, and I don't know how to explain it, but you know of my condition. I think it's related.
Above table, do you mean the I'm assuming the thing I know about, yeah, but
Yes.
calling it a condition is
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah. Got it. Tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So you got metaphysically burned by the sun while you were out at night, I might add. And you think all of this is connected to the way you are the cloth. Are there is there DNA on it?
Well, I've not tracked it yet.
Okay, and that might be a first step to see if, well, someone was burned with that cloth on them or if it was some kind of concentrated usage of sunlight through like a looking glass or something.
Right.
You're
Yes, sorry.
rambling, you need to be more rational. Because if you're losing yourself, you're not going to be very useful.
I'm losing nothing. I'm reacting in a perfectly rational manner.
Are you saying I'm lying or not right? And I
I'm
think
simply
with that,
stating.
there's like a hand on the table next to you. She's standing like slightly behind next to you on the right. She hasn't sat down, and there's like a hand of like nailed hand that comes down as she leans a little closer behind you.
I think he will instinctively lean back, almost as if getting closer to her, not because he wants to, because he's thinking,
Hmm.
if I am closer, she's got less of a chance of coming at me in that sort of sense. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm simply stating the facts as I saw them.
Maybe next time don't insinuate that I'm wrong then with your stating of facts.
My deepest apologies.
I don't give her apologies. You know you shouldn't make mistakes. Well,
I
not as long as we want to keep you around, right? Which is a long time, isn't it?
I would hope so, yes.
I'd hope so too, Altair. Let's make sure that actually works out. So, a burnt cloth, a picture of a ritual site, and you say that you feel connected to it.
Not necessarily connected to it, but I just have a hunch.
Have you told anyone else?
No, you're the first. I always tell you everything first.
Good. I like that. Also, for a second here, this venture you did a job for, they reach out anymore to you?
No.
Good. From now on, anyone within the Ventru clan who asks you to do a job, you come to me. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Anytime you interact with one of that clan, it's a danger. And I don't have to explain, not just to you. So I want to know. I don't like not knowing.
Yes. It was a lapse of judgment, and it won't happen again.
How?
The case that was presented was that of urgency, and I took the executive decision. It was a simple case of business and trying to get it dealt with quickly.
No, 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 no. How will it not happen again?
I will ensure that any requests are routed through you first.
So I have to trust your judgment? Trust that you
Not,
won't lapse again as you lapsed now?
I would hope that you have at least a small modicum of faith in me, yes.
Faith is something different than
As
trust, Altair. I have faith that you will do lots of things, but it seems that you like breaking my trust, which I don't get why. I haven't done anything but help you in all of this.
because for as long as we've known each other, you have had the sword of Damocles right above my head, and at any moment you can let it drop. I put that faith into you.
I suggest you start getting better at letting my hand be as high up as possible with that sword.
Yes, Mom.
Good. I knew you'd do great. Well, so we'll check if there were any sort of remains on the cloth. We'll check that, and well, sunlight. There is only a despicable part of our society that would have to do with sunlight or someone's ghouls at work. I don't know of any normal kindred that could go into sunlight.
Nor I. There's the possibility of thin bloods, but don't think they'd wish to mess around quite so much in this area.
Ugh. They're foolish enough to do anything. Which is good, because if they're messing up and they're making themselves known, it's easier to find them. It's already part of what's happening. We should get. We should get the seneschal in here. Although occult, ritualistic stuff, it's not my nature.
Nor I can put the call out if that would be all right.
Yes, get the. Let's get the seneschal. And also, well, in case it is connected, I did already ask a favor from the Nosferatu Primogen. And, well, they already heard everything we said about it last night, so I'm sure that if we don't include their nose into this, they will be including their own in it regardless.
Yes. Right, I'll get those contacts put out there then, if that's satisfactory.
That would be.
Mm.
Right. If I may take leave then?
There's like a. There's a second of pause, of silence, of the tension in the room rising a little bit as I think not unfamiliar to Altair, sadly enough, or I'll leave the emotions to you. There's the sense of like a predator prey situation a little bit, as you do sense that her hunger um becomes visible for a moment. You're doing better already. That's great. I'll see you again in half an hour.
Half an hour, no later. And I think as he'd felt this, he'd lean sideways just a little bit, head away from her naturally. Not to get away, but in offering.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll stand away and make a quick leave.
Like a dog baring its neck to that which is superior. We will turn to our next scene, half an hour and no later. Lewis and Dragoslav, you have been summoned to this office building. You have probably been here before for meetings with Sloane. It is a chosen time for anything that is sheriff business, outside of her own personal business. And you have been summoned. Altair, would you have let them know that the intention is for these four to be present, or just your presence is required to the two of them? Do they know that they're coming into a space with you, Sloane, and each other?
I think so, yes. I think he would have gone in with the full shebang.
Okay.
This is where we're meeting. This is who's going to be there.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pick anything up on the way there?
Do you need a snack, refreshments? Like, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you were summoned. Altair is already present in the space in the building. Which of the two do you think would show up first, Lewis or Dragoslav?
I think the Dragoslav shows up first. He just doesn't make anyone aware of it.
He's been there for a long
Yeah.
time.
I have a few powers I can list off if you want, but
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Very good. Yes, and unless the other two have some aspects that they feel like throwing out there to sense things that are unseen, we can assume that you're able to be there and be full NOS mode.
Yeah.
So Lewis, it is when you arrive and can greet the other two, is that when Dragoslav makes his presence
Yeah.
known?
I think as they're all coming together, they just suddenly realize Dragoslav has been just leaning against the corner
In the room,
waiting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Altair, do you say that it's 30 minutes exactly? And I guess question, is it framed as the sheriff would like to speak with you, or the sheriff demands your presence? How do you communicate the message to
I love
us?
how we're putting the blame on the middleman because it's
Well,
like
Altair's the messenger,
you
so you know.
frame it.
Yeah.
We're definitely blaming the messenger.
Oh no, I think he would have tried to pass it back up a little bit and would have said that you have requested or been requested to be here by, and he would have literally added exactly 30 minutes onto whatever the time was. So if it was like something 37, it would be 7 minutes past the hour to the fucking point, and it's like, don't be late.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine then. It just depends on how rude I am when I walk in the room.
Yes.
Oh no.
I am 5 minutes late.
Okay.
There's only one person who demands my time to be on time.
Then
in this city.
the question is there. Because I'd imagine Altair is like receiving them. When Altair notices that it's getting close to the exact time and that Lewis is not here, I would love to know what the little guy does.
How do you handle the situation?
Well,
Altair?
actually, he hasn't seen either of them come in
Yeah,
yet.
technically,
because
Dragoslav is late as well.
He's stressing. I think he's gone down to the sort of, I guess, main foyer, sort of just outside. Is looking up and down the street, is thinking, oh shit. And he's thinking, okay, 10%, like 3 minutes. If they're not here in like 3 minutes before the 7 minutes passed, he will head back up and will just sort of say, I'm not entirely certain that they got the memo on time. I will chase up furthermore, if that's quite all right.
Is it all right, Altair?
Well, no, I would expect people to be on time, but unfortunately, we don't have that resource at the moment.
Can I ask? Can I go up with him?
Yeah, you could be there and just not visible.
Yeah, I want
so
to shadow this
sure.
man be in that room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I want to observe this.
Yeah, unless anybody feels strongly about trying to observe this, he will have gone in unseen.
No, I don't mind.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
absolutely. No.
It's fun.
So you're witnessing this, Dragoslav.
Just a question. Did you tell us who was coming? Did you tell myself and Dragoslav that?
That we were
that the
each
event
other
would be there?
coming. Okay, yeah.
Yes, so
Wonderful.
he would have said that you have been requested by Sloan. Like this is, like the meeting attendees will be.
Yeah.
He's forwarded the Teams meeting so you can see everyone.
Agenda is
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I would love to arrive with detect unseen presence activated then.
Okay.
I am happy to fail this.
I know. So here for it. Like, let's roll off, babies.
How do I do this? How do I use these?
Hold on. I'll tell you guys what you're both rolling. So, Lewis, you are going to be rolling wits or resolve. I'll let you choose one of the other plus your auspex. And Dragoslav, you are doing your wits plus obfuscate.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and it's sort of it's a contested role here.
My off.
We'll let the dice decide if you succeed or not, Lewis.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Of course.
How do
I think
So
on the
no,
spirit of it being active
So no other.
searching, which go,
no
sorry.
attribute,
No.
just wits
Well,
and
one of its
obfuscate.
yeah,
Yeah.
you've got its wits and
Yeah.
obfuscate. Yes.
Okay. God, 1 second. Let me see if I have anything to add here.
This one's just a straight roll.
Oh shit.
Oh, there's 6.
Okay. 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 Okay.
And it's a
Okay.
messy
Okay.
critical.
Okay. 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 Wits. Obfuscate. Um. You're muted.
I'm muted. It's not a failure, so it is not a bestial failure. 5 is
Mm.
enough to technically have succeeded at what you were trying to do. It does not beat,
Well,
however,
1 second. One
the
second.
attempt to.
Don't. I'm doing something. No. Okay. It's
I'm
fine.
cooking.
5. It's
Yeah,
fine.
let me cook. Let me cook.
Let me cook.
Unfortunately, you are
Yeah.
cooked. You are seen
Yeah.
in and stalking around behind Altair and Sloane,
That's fine.
having this little tense tete-a-tete. Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
You. I think you see this happening, and just for the type of person that you are,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that your particular blood works in your clan, I think your ability to learn and understand other people
Mm-hmm.
and to get things on them is kind of where we're going to put in that perfectionism element of you. I think I'm going to up your hunger by 1.
Yeah.
Because your beast comes crawling out, slithering out, given that we are a slithering kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I'm going to put in place here is either one of these 2 conditions have to be met before we'll let this slide. And you're going to be very distracted by anything else other than why is it Dragoslav has come in here to listen in to this clearly private conversation? Obviously, Nosferatu got a Nosferatu, but this situation with the sheriff, with the why are you here doing this and making this choice? Or you're going to have to find a way to consider yourself, to consider you have one up to Dragoslav in some way. You've got something on him.
Okay.
Those 2 things are going to kind of be niggling at you because you see somebody acting this way. Now, this is not an Elysium. There's nothing to say that he can't be using his disciplines, but to creep into the sheriff and the hound unseen, unnoticed with this sort of meeting, the protocol, the etiquette, perhaps, you're pretty sure Sloan would be mighty pissed to know that that had happened, because maybe this was a private conversation. So
I was summoned here.
There's
I was invited in, baby.
Sure.
That doesn't
I was
mean
on
anything.
time.
Yeah.
You're clearly planning something.
Yeah.
You're clearly plotting
Yeah,
something.
Nosferatu.
Or trying to witness this tense, because you can walk in and you can also see the tension between Sloane and Altair, even if you haven't heard what's being said. So yeah, you walk in and like a couple things fire off in your head, and your beast is kind of like prowling
Sneaking
around, very
out.
present.
Yeah, and I'm
kind
like
of at the back of your jaw. You feel that
the tension and that sort of
the temptation to bite something hard till it bleeds.
Oh, it's infuriating. And I've been summoned, and again, I don't get summoned places. There's only one person who summons me places in this city.
So, it's up to you guys now how all of this fits into place. Sloane and Altair, you were having a very tense conversation. You were not aware of Dragoslav coming in, and Lewis is kind of slipping in around the back of this. So I will leave the scene now to the 4 of you.
Okay. Yes. I don't think anything outwardly is noticeable in any kind of shift. The two can enter and interact whenever they want to. I think where we left off was basically, uh, gosh, Altair had said, uh, as in like, I can't remember if it was something like, "What are you gonna do about it?" As in
Mhm.
like,
Mm-hmm. What
that
what are
there's
you going to
nothing
do
they
to
can
make
do about
sure
it,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
this
We
doesn't
can't
happen
control
again?
this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. We can't control the fact that they're not here.
yeah.
I think Lewis is well, of course your dog can't control.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think you said, "Is it good, Altair?" is
Mhm.
what you'd ended
sorry,
on.
you're
So
correct.
that makes this line that you're about to deliver, Lewis, even better.
Of course it's not good. Of course it's not good that your dog can't control anything, Sheriff.
Mr. Cohen, thank you for showing up.
You're welcome.
And
What
well,
exactly is this about?
I'd at least expect a little bit more etiquette, even if it's not Elysium.
Primogen?
I can do nothing about your expectations of me.
Oh, yes, you're entirely in control of them, actually.
Let me rephrase. I do not care about your
I
expectations of
thought
me.
so. Well, perhaps you might care about the fact that my expectations, influence, are working together to secure this domain.
Hmm.
And surely that's something you care about.
I do, that's what I am here for.
Yes, why are we here, Sheriff?
Well, you're both here because one of you most certainly has valuable input to give on a problem that is arising, and the other one possibly also, but I know that, well, you would be meddling in it regardless, and you have already heard everything about it, so might as well keep you in the loop, because that way you might also be useful to it. I'll
Those seem like proper expectations of me.
I'll turn my gaze to Lewis.
Hmm.
Altair, would you please show the picture to Mr. Cohen and pull out the piece that you pulled from the scene?
He will do as asked. So he will present phone screen with an image of the ritual site that he took, and the piece of cloth that has been burned not by fire but by sun. And we'll sort of offer both out in each hand.
So, my hound here has stumbled upon a certain, well, ritualistic site in nature, it seems, only 2 nights ago? Yes. We have not been able to conclude anything from it so far, only that, well, clearly this is more up to your expertise and in discerning what actually possibly happened here, but also that this cloth was apparently burned by sunlight, if that helps anything, and might possibly be connected to, well, a rising problem of thin bloods. I thought, who better to ask than the Tremere Seneschal, who surely knows a lot more about ritualistic natures than any of us in this room.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Sheriff. It is frustrating to find out that there is unlicensed sorcery seeming to happen in our fair city, but we know that our colleagues aren't always the best at keeping to the rules. That's why we have you, of course. Does may Mr. Knox, if you'd be so kind, may I see that image?
Of course. I think he'll hand his phone over there. He's taken a few pictures from sort of different angles.
Is there any way to make this bigger? Sort of.
Enhance.
Lewis does not know how to do this. Lewis is
Ah.
not good with technology.
Mhm.
I could port it onto one of the main meeting screens, or I can.
I'm just gonna zoom it in on his phone.
Yeah.
He was just about to lean over to do that.
Yeah.
Let's not connect an HDMI cable into a photo of some evidence onto the screen, indeed.
Does this style of magic look familiar at all?
Hmm. I have answers for you. You are going to get
Mhm.
information regardless, but I would like another intelligence occult roll. It's not necessarily blood magic that you were rolling for, so I
That
would
is
argue perhaps not
understandable.
something that needs a speciality. However, it's still a stack of dice.
Yes, of course.
Like I say, you'll get information regardless.
I mean, smoke 'em if you got 'em, right? Let's.
Yes.
I click this and I choose the ones I want to reroll.
Yeah.
Yes, there we
3 of your black dice.
are. There's 5 of them.
5 is much better. There aren't obvious markers. It's a little harder to tell just from a picture
Mhm.
because if you were there at the actual location, you would be able to sense the presence of blood or vitae, one or the other. That would allude to it being blood sorcery.
Specifically blood magic of
Yeah.
some form, yeah.
Clearly has ritualistic markers. There is symbolism seemingly scored into a bit of rock behind it. And there is it looks like there's actually it's been scraped to create the symbol, but also there is then some charcoal, it looks like, over the top of it. Because you can see indentation and also the black markings. And they're not necessarily the same thing. That looks like a radiant sunburst pointing down the way. Sort of Jacob's Ladder-esque, if you're aware of Jacob's Ladders. And on the sort of bit of ground underneath it, you can see the fabric that has been lifted, and what you're holding in your hands has scorch marks all over it. This looks like it is remnant of something, because it looks like far more than just this piece had caught on fire, in some way. And there is, you don't know what was there in the first place because there's no other objects or items, but you can tell from the way that some of this scorching has created like a shadow effect of the scorch that shows that there was something placed there. And one of them looks vaguely in a humanoid-ish shape in that you could swear it looks a little bit like a head and arms, but in the way that a small figurine might be, a very crude, rudimentary one.
Not
So
human-sized, got it.
not human-sized, very much not small. So a person did not burn here, but a small item was perhaps present when this
An effigy
occurred.
of some form.
Yeah. And I will say, just sort of like racking through your own little inner compendium, there isn't really any blood sorcery rituals, or indeed like oblivion ceremonies, which is also another vaguely in the wheelhouse of kindred magical capabilities, that involves sunlight imagery. It feels rather antithetical for a kindred to be involved in that. So could be mages. Certainly, it's something that may require a little bit of historical digging. So this is a point of something to perhaps research.
Okay.
So you're able to ascertain a few things. There's certain things that you can't answer because you don't have the actual site in front of you, but you have been able to ascertain, like, at least sort of theorize, make a little hypothesis about what some of that could be.
Yeah, I think that's sort of. I'm looking at this for a short while, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I have some ideas. Mr. Knox, whereabouts did you find that? Take this image.
I'm not sure where exactly it was. Above table.
Yep.
Um,
I can find that for you.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me from asking.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mostly because the
storyteller.
name is very fun to me. It is somewhere near to Arthur's Seat actually. So it's still Edinburgh. It's still classed under Old Town. It's in the very old part of the city. And it's called Dumby Dykes. It's a cool name.
Where is that located in like northeast, west coast?
So it is on the eastern side of just like the big, somewhat circular green space, because that is in fact a hill.
Mm-hmm.
It's just shy, I guess, of calling it a mountain, but it's an old volcanic plug. There's a couple of them in the area. So Dumby Dykes is a small area that is near to it. It's in the same sort of area just south of Holyrood, which is where your prince holds a lot of sway. So relatively close to where your boss tends to hang out with.
Amazing.
And, the scene is secured, presumably, yes.
It was left as it was. I'm rather afraid I was indisposed that day.
I just look at the sheriff. You need to train your dog better, sheriff.
Wait, so he said I was rather indisposed that day?
Yes.
Uh do I know? No, I'm not involved in any of the reasons why he wasn't uh around, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, because it was a job that he'd picked up
Yeah.
for the
Okay,
other venture. Yeah.
we're back on the fact that I was a
Mm.
job for another venture.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Mm.
Okay. Well, first of all, Mr. Cohen, he is not my dog. He's a hound. Let's keep it civil, right? I think we all at least deserve that. We're all kindred in this room. And well, he is of our lineage as well. So I would like a little bit of respect towards my clan nonetheless. But yes, rest assured that the fact that Altair was indisposed is something that we internally are dealing with. Now, that is a fact. We can't change the facts. What also is a fact is, well, we have at least a picture of what happened here. At least one of us saw it, noticed it. Because, well, if you did not know about magic happening in this town, well, at least it was caught. And that's a good thing, isn't it?
You're right, and I am sorry, Mr. Knox. That was rude of me.
It was. You're forgiven. Thank you.
So, going back, I'm assuming that you will need this to look into it a little bit further where you have your, well, resources for it.
Preferably, yes. I've got some ideas and some. If I will send the scene myself, Mr. Knox, may I hold on to this piece of fabric?
You'd be welcome to, yes.
Here. Sort of, I think, retreats into himself a little bit and sort of starts thinking and sort of working angles in his head.
Mr. Cohen, if any of this is related, or it has an inkling of being related to any Fin blood activity, please do let me know as fast as you have a hunch about it.
It doesn't seem likely. This doesn't strike me as anything done by any kindred, in fact.
I'm not talking about kindred, I'm talking about Fin bloods.
Then Yes, of course. This doesn't look like anything that anything even vaguely related to ourselves would be able to do. No traditions that I'm aware of, certainly.
Good. And that is already one answer further. I'm sure we'll be delighted to hear once. I'm sure we'll be delighted to hear once you have had a night or so to spend some reading time on it.
I have taken the phone and sent the picture to myself, by the way. I've
Nicholas has to watch
airdropped
his
it, so
phone. Yeah.
yeah, I've airdropped it, so there's no actual trace. Um, oh, well, this is
So,
all happening while they're talking.
Primogen,
Sheriff.
does this pique an interest to you? And does this also not, well, it could possibly be related to a thing you have been looking into for me?
We could. It's not too far away from where you had me look over. There is a handful of kindred and ghoul activity over in Portobello by the coast west of Hollywood Park, not too far from Dombey Dyke, where this photo was taken. Sorry, east, not west, my bad. I don't know
Love the
my
thing is like,
directions.
my bad.
My bad. That's me. He said east.
I don't know, left from right.
I generally forget all the time. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, yes. Yeah,
If you
yeah.
go east from Hollywood, there is Portobello Beach
Mm-hmm.
to the coast, right on the coast.
Yes. Um,
Hollywood.
so to be clear, the site that I have you looking into, the site where, because it wasn't clear to me if the site that I put you on was, if I knew it was Finblood activity or if I just, because that wasn't
It's
like,
yeah, so the Scourges have said that they believe that the Thin Bloods they have been tracking down and
Yeah.
hoping to deal with are, they believe, connected to some relatively new kindred that have settled
yes.
themselves in that location. Yeah. So
Yes,
they
but
they suspect that one created the other.
yeah, absolutely. Okay. And so that location where I was like, hey, look into this, that is not super far from the place where this picture was taken. Then
Not too far.
No, not
Maybe
too
a
far.
okay,
20-minute drive.
got it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. As long as you have eyes and ears to see, well, we know that the hub of whatever is happening could possibly be in that area. What is most important, though, is if someone leaves that hub and goes around to, for example, the area where this picture was taken to do these kinds of things. It happened once, it could happen again. That would be
Mhm.
most interesting to see.
It would be. I do have my eyes and ears on it. A few more pieces of information if you are ever curious.
I am all eyes and ears.
Hmm. And I am not free.
And I think I already made it very clear that this is about the safety of the domain. If you, Primogen, do not want to help with the safety of the domain, then that is your prerogative, of course. I will take it in note. And, well, if it becomes a problem, I'm sure the prince would know about it.
Ever the
But,
true you are.
but of course, I've already mentioned that if there is anything my humble service could do for you, you need only ask. So I don't get why we're playing the game.
I thought you loved playing games.
I absolutely despise them. It's why I'm in the news business.
I will have more information coming in later tonight, Sheriff, but so far, we are dealing with possibly about 4 kindred, 2 to 3 confirmed ghouls, and they have already set up shop. They have a public facing area, possibly drugs.
Very fascinating because that means someone could be sent to the public facing space that they have.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I perhaps know one or two who could go have a look. More personal.
I could go have a look.
If you would go want to have a look, Primogen, there is nothing I or anyone in this room would do to stop you.
As long as your people do not interfere or make it worse.
If you go and look tonight, Primogen, you will have no one interfering. I will send someone tomorrow night.
Good. And I shall give you the information as soon as I have it.
The domain depends on it.
Doesn't it always?
And that's a perfect place for us to pause and have our break, everybody.
Let's go.
Protection of our domain, indeed, isn't it always? We're gonna go on break for 10 minutes, everybody. So please go stretch your legs, hydrate if you can. If you have pets, give them a smooch. We'll see you in 10, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our second half. I hope you have rested and gotten a drink or had a little bio, whatever you needed. We are here with our group of kindred who are members of the Camarilla Council here in Edinburgh in 2011, where things are definitely going to remain very normal for the next 12 months. Don't worry about it.
It's gonna be super chill and we're gonna live forever.
So super chill
Yeah.
and live forever, yeah. So we had a meeting between everybody, which was equal parts being very proper and civil, and also a lot of backhanded comments and or passive aggressive and or just outwardly being a little unpleasant at times, but all with the mask of playing the game and acting very civil. A few things were suggested, things that need looking into. Whether they're connected or not is unclear, and we are going to move into 2 separate scenes here where our council members are going to pair off to go and investigate a few things. I think, who am I going to select? Who would like to roll a dice for me?
Okay.
Okay.
What am I rolling?
You're just gonna roll a dice. You can just roll a d10 in the chat if you like. Odds, we are starting with Dragoslav and Altair. Evens, we're gonna start with Sloan and Lewis.
It is odd. It is a 9.
Aha, we're starting with our goth boys.
I got you back in town.
So, Dragoslav, Altair. We know that Dragoslav is interested in going and investigating this location in Portobello at the coast on the eastern side of Edinburgh. And I'm assuming you might invite Altair to this. I'd be curious to hear the conversation where you invite him.
He does not. He turns to Sloane
Mm.
and says, I might have use of your hound.
I currently don't, for the next few hours, have any use for him, so please.
Perfect. Looks to Altair.
But Altair, be sure to still, well, come back at the end of the night.
Yes, I'll send check-ins as often as I can, yes.
Great. Have fun on your little excursion.
Thank you, Mum. We'll sidle in.
Dragoslav's already walking out.
He just sort of immediately follows. He's used to it.
Mm-hmm. So, how are you going to get there? Do one of the two of you have a mode of transport?
Can I have a bike?
I have a hearse.
Yeah, I'll just lie in the back actually.
Mhm.
You can go
Horse
on
or
your
bike?
hearse.
The answer is yes, you can have a bike, but there is also a hearse.
Yeah.
Both are
I
pretty
will
cool modes of
say
transport, so
Dragoslav is really tall. So if we want to go with the hearse, it's gonna look funny.
I mean, being on a bike is also gonna look funny. How high do your legs
Yeah,
have to get?
but there's no ceiling. Is
True.
the problem. No, we can go on the hearse, it's fine.
We could go bike as well. I don't. He'll play backpack.
Two
We'll go
buttons,
on the
enter a scene.
hearse. We'll go on the hearse.
We're
I
going
don't
in the
want you
hearse.
touching
Okay.
me.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll have left it somewhere in the nearby area. I'm not sure what the road situation is.
2011, it's not quite as restricted as it is these days with bus gates and low emission zones. However, sorry, geography teacher. However, you can have it parked nearby. Driving is fine.
Cool. I think
No, I just the two of you are able to get into said hearse. Dragoslav, you'll need to
He's hunched more than
guide
usual.
guide the way.
Yeah. He will guide them to nearby
Mm-hmm.
the public facing location. The
Mhm.
first location was, I don't think we cleared it up. It was a location to check. And then the second one was the public facing location.
Yes, so you've got two are homes, semi-detached style, in relatively the same neighborhood. So much so that you are aware that it may be that they were granted this as a sort of domain for them to reside in, as is proper for Camaria. So there's two homes. One is where you know that the kindred have been observed, and the other, you're told that ghouls go there.
He will tell this to Altair. One is possibly Haven, the other drug dealing area, possibly.
And which are you thinking is safer for us to look into tonight?
The public area.
Right.
If we are caught entering another kindred's haven, it might get a little dicey for you.
Yes, I wouldn't quite like to land that back on Sloane. Wonderful. Yes. I'll find us somewhere to park.
Hidden.
It always is.
So
For what it's sorry.
No, go. Please.
For what it's worth, I'm not quite as useless as it may be made out.
I know. I think Sloane likes to put down those beneath her. But they are beneath her for good reason. If you were useless, you would not be under Sloane's command.
Right. Yes. Thank you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll just go and pull up somewhere slightly out of the way.
Yeah, so you reckon that places there's a church, there's like a gym, places that are public buildings, but none that are used at this time of night implies that the car park is going to be somewhat empty. And if you're around the back of a building, you might be able to provide Dragoslav some amount of uh privacy to become unseen. So my question as we kind of step out, Dragoslav, if you are going to be unseen, earlier I was happy for us to just commit to the bit. Now, however, you will need to do a rouse check.
Hell yeah.
If you want to go unseen, of course, you can just walk
I
around
do.
visible
I
if you prefer.
do. I am. We're goths in a seaside town. Of course, we're gonna stick out. Um. I'm getting hungry.
Yes.
May I also obfuscate?
Yes, absolutely. If you are going to be moving around with it, it's a rouse check. Sense the unseen.
What a team up,
No.
actually.
Yeah. The best part is that you're not going to be able to see each other.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But yeah, the two of you are going to feel as you summon the ability to do so, it requires drawing from your own vitae, and you feel it back of your jaw getting a little tense. That hunger ever present, a bit more prowling and growling within you. But they can't see you. You can't necessarily see each other. You might have to Marco Polo your way around the place.
Can I do something before we turn invisible?
Yeah.
Dragoslav's just gonna hand you a rat.
Altair has learned not to question these things. He will take the rat.
Hmm. Is it a common brown rat, Dragoslav, or a fancy rat? And I say that because fancy rat is in fact a breed type.
It's a common brown rat. It is what you would see most on the street for a reason.
Is it
So-
spelt or is it a little chunker?
It's a little chunker. It's like it grown big, so it's like almost like a New York subway rat, but like not quite. But why I'm giving it to you is because I can summon my rat if I need you to come to me. So
Am I
you can just
getting
follow my rat.
ratatouille'd?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell
You
you've
can
got the little spikes of hair on the top of your
Yeah.
head. Yeah. What is the rat called?
I didn't think about this. Shit. You the rat is called, I don't know why this was the first name that came to mind, but it's Misky. Like the singer, yes.
Whiskey, okay. All right. So you are being ratatouilleed.
Yeah. He will let him know if rat goes, you follow.
Yes, I can follow instructions very well, even from a rat.
Yeah. You may
Good.
question whether this is some sort of like Nosferatu friendship initiation, being handed a rat, but okay.
Yeah.
So you are able to move around this neighborhood. We can assume that you've perhaps been shown Altair on a map. Just open up Google Maps and be like, this is where we're going. For searching around this area, I would ask how the two of you are approaching this task. Is there a specific way you are going about this?
Um, I feel like they would have told Altair like, kind of let's take like a split, like a fork effect. Like Dragoslav would want to look at the back of the place, and for you at the front, because he wants to see all the entryways and exit ways. Like if it has windows, like get all the information of any point that can be coming in and out, and also might give way of if there's people inside.
Okay. All right. And what about you, Alto?
So I think if uh Dragoslav's going through the back of the house, we'll go along the front. And I think as he's making his way there, has brought up Google Maps and is looking through historical images of this house to see if, do you like the little street view? You can go back to like 2007, just to see if there's any structural changes that make any sort of big difference, big sort of like changes to the home.
Sure. That do be sounding like an investigation room.
Investigation.
So let me just. Ooh, is that you? That is you. Yeah, I'll let you use your intelligence investigation.
Thank you. Investigation. Oh no.
I think the structure of this house looks fairly similar as you pan back. Maybe the color of paint on the door changes at one point, but the structure of it seems pretty static. It looks like it is a small dwelling. Clearly, there is a second floor, but it is these sort of like pop out windows. I don't know the names for these. That implies it is almost like a attic space in a way that has these windows. So a small slanted roof, for whatever, maybe upstairs. There is a driveway with a rather sort of like busted up Nissan in the driveway. Serviceable. It just, it's got a couple their own attempts at like repairing something on them. The back end of it. Yeah, just a little bit. Well loved. For the time being, it looks like curtains are closed, but structurally, no. There's nothing that has been adapted about this building, and actually, what you're really looking at is a building that's old enough where it would be a little hard to do that. And there's no garden space to necessarily be building out extensions or what have you.
Cool.
Okay. Are you going to linger at the front, Altair?
I think he will hang around just at the sort of, I guess, if like the corner of the street looking down towards it. And I think he's just quietly chattering away to the rat.
The rat's on your shoulder. That's usually where Minsky usually is.
Oh, yeah, he's wittering away sort of about the events of the evening.
Yeah. Like the rat is chittering, so you can presume she's answering you. You just don't speak the language, so
You're not
Oh, he's still
part of the
going.
club.
He's totally going like, no, I agree. No, you like, even though he has no idea, he's fully chatting away to this rat.
I understand. We've all spoken to our pets before. Okay, so you can kind of essentially be camping out there, and as things change, I will make you aware. Dragoslav, you are slinking around the back. I will ask for the same roll from you. Oh well, no, this is more wits actually. Just the going and
Wits
looking.
investigation.
Wits awareness.
Which
Um,
awareness?
Unless you're are you just going looking, or is there very specifically something that you are investigating?
He wants to see if there are any cameras or any security in this house
Hmm.
or anything or anyone keeping watch, whether it's
Okay.
security, dog, person,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's an investigation roll then.
Cool. Not that one. Not intimidation. I'm so hungry. But I am so good. That
5
is
is good.
5.
I think as you move around this building, you'll see that there's a driveway and then like a sort of wooden fence that you're able to sort of either open or just hop over. You're very tall. You could basically step over the
Just
thing.
step over it. Yeah.
In the back, it could have been a back garden for somebody who would want to look after it as a garden. This place is not necessarily so. And so there's like a little stack of sort of like plastic container like buckets essentially. In the corner there is maybe little bits of what had been garden tools or something that was a grill, like a barbecue grill, that's just been left out to rust and isn't actually being used. So maybe like a chair that's not really got back to it, and the
So all this has kind of been left there to just
things
rot.
just look like they've just been here for a while. Yeah. You are gonna notice a camera, which for some Nosferatu, they're gonna spot a camera and be like, "Damn, that camera's gonna see me while I'm here creeping about being invisible." But you have Ghost in the
Ghost in the
Machine,
machine.
so it is not able to pick up on your presence, but you can see that it is there, which is worth noting for Altair.
Okay.
And I think from the back, you can see that there are indeed people inside. You're aware that there are people at the kitchen. I'm going to say from this distance, you can't make out exactly what they're doing, but there's people in the kitchen doing something.
Okay. Is the camera on one side?
So
or is it just
looks like
facing the entire back?
it's on the corner of the building that is able to rotate and get the back garden and also the driveway section that leads to the back garden. So
Okay.
if anybody is trying to come at the building from this direction, it is being caught on camera.
Okay. God.
And it looks nicer than whatever else is going on in this garden.
I would like to summon my friend. Friend, the rat is my friend. But I would like it for it to be in the side that the camera can't see. So if it can see one side to kind of come into the back and the garden, he's going to move to the other side.
It's a semi-detached, so this building touches onto another building.
Okay.
They're connected. So there only really is the one way to come down to the back end of this house.
Okay. So he will make his way towards the front, but like away from the house, and then have Mitsuki come towards him away from the house.
Okay. So Mitsuki is going to start chittering a little more animatedly and is going to attempt to go. Once Mitsuki is able to get down and off you and start moving towards where she is being summoned, you can now see the rat and will be able to follow the rat.
Cool. I follow the rat.
So you can see the fence as well. Now, the incredibly tall Dragoslav was able to get over there with very little effort. You might require more effort unless you have something discipline-wise that will allow you to...
Over a fence?
One of those like slightly high wooden...
Could I use my traversal skill?
Yes.
That's Dex Athletics.
Sure.
Athletics.
Okay, so a few things here. I think although we're technically after break time, so the effect of your best of failure from earlier isn't actively ongoing, but we can say that this one dice here, the fact that you have not been successful, is because you're still a little rattled, and so your control over your own body is not necessarily what it normally is, and you do try to like alley-oop and get over, and your foot's gonna catch on the fence and you're gonna kind of like fall into a heap.
Oh.
And it's funny because it's gonna be heard by Dragoslav, but he can't see you. Because you're not necessarily loud enough that is going to be breaking any sort of perceptions in that way. However, there is a camera, and unless you have Ghost in the Machine, it may be that the camera picked up on this invisible kindred just like falling over. So for the time being, as far as you are aware, yes, you did not successfully get over here gracefully, but it's okay because nobody saw.
What I heard.
Well,
I heard it.
yeah. It's like just Dragoslav in the quiet going, I heard that.
I heard that.
Mhm. Cute, very adorably, Mitsuki is going to come over with some concern into your general area, Altair. And although she can't necessarily see you, there are other ways that people can sense you, like through smell, for example. And she's going to chitter with some concern.
He's the rat Cas. He'll sort of reach a little hand out and we'll give her a little scritch between the ears.
Yeah. Okay. But you're both in the back garden now. What do you do?
Did you fall?
My foot caught on the fencing. It's old.
Your foot or the fencing?
Both.
They have camera. Quite fancy for such a rundown place. There's people inside. Kitchen.
Are you thinking of trying to get in or just monitoring it?
My curiosity wants in, but I am unfortunately working with your boss. She likes clean.
Yes, I wouldn't quite fancy going back after failing.
Yes.
Almost as a siren call, particularly to Altair. I don't know about Dragoslav. I ain't here to tell you what you are interested in. You can hear that inside there's clearly some talking going on, but it's that sort of like muffled because you're aware that there's talking, but you can't hear what's being said. But they appear to be playing Bauhaus. So at least they have some taste.
Yeah. No. Dragoslav is up to date on music. Can't
Up
be
to date with that very popular
Yeah.
80s band, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the 1880s, you know. So yeah, you can hear that, and you're aware that there are people.
Does it look like there's people on? Is there a second floor? And does it look like there's people? Did it
No,
look like there were
so,
people on the second floor?
no,
Or is it
it's
just two?
it's that basement. No, sorry, not basement. Like an attic level where there is rooms that are windows, but it's windows popping up out of the roof. Again, I don't know the architectural name for those, but it's clearly there is rooms up there, but they will have the very slanted rooftop to them. Mainly it's this lower floor, and where you are, you're near the kitchen.
Okay. And would there be a doorway away from the kitchen?
I mean, there'll be a back door,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
coming out of the kitchen usually.
Coming
with these
out of
sorts
the kitchen.
ones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. I want to go in so bad.
You can go on. peer inside if you want. They can't see
Yeah,
you.
I would like to peer inside.
Hmm. So what I'm gonna ask,
I can send
there
my
are
rat in.
Rata. There are basic things that you are going to be able to see because you have eyes, but I will
I
ask
do
for a
have
wits
those.
awareness, just to see how much extra detail you are able to pick up. And you can both do that if you would
Cute.
like.
Ooh,
Hmm.
awareness.
Damn, I was hoping.
Hmm. Two. We'll get you some basics. If either of you wants to maybe try to see if you can get three, I might give you
Well,
a
it's
second
only
to help.
well, yeah.
I don't
I
mind.
you know what? Smoke 'em if you got 'em, right? No,
Nope.
just two. But I will send my red in to like through like a drain pipe or something when I'm doing this.
Okay. So, two pairs. What you're able to see just with your kind of casual glance in is that there are two people here. They are dressed a little more on the punk rather than trad goth, I will say, in appearance. Um and so skinny drain pipe tartan trousers and a number of piercings. um and the other one is sort of the really baggy black jeans and then a skinny t-shirt, that kind of vibe. But the two of them are chatting, and what you can see set up on this sort of like central kitchen table is a kit that looks like it is making drugs. So you had suspected that they may be doing drug deals out of here. What you're able to see with your two successes is there's definitely a kit on there that looks like they're doing some home chemistry, which implies drugs.
Drugs?
And not necessarily more than that with your two successes.
Okay. But what about Misky?
What about Mitski?
I would like to send her in if possible
To do what?
to watch. I want the command is how many people she sees because it's not like I'm gonna have her do fucking algebra. She's a rat. She can only do so much.
Correct.
How many people do you see? Um, yeah, I think that'll be it because it's a rat. I gotta be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
She's
If
smart,
you want
but
to try to find rat stats for me, you can roll for her. But otherwise, she can let you know how many people she encounters. How long are you leaving here for?
um, I think I'll give her like maybe 15 minutes.
All right.
Okay, the only thing I can find is something that's not actually a rat. So
Yeah. So she's looking for how many people, essentially, come and go or are inside the building.
inside the building, come and go, they can keep an eye on, but inside the
Okay.
building.
Okay. Do you guys just sit on the wall and chill? Do a little small talk?
I think so.
Both invisible.
Yeah, I think Dragoslav used to doing this by himself, so he's just quiet. You hear him talking to the rat. Well, actually, you don't, but he's talking to it. Um, but actually, you know what? He will ask you, how long have you been working for Sloan?
Ah, quite some years now at this point. She I was new to the area. She looked after me.
Hmm,
How
that's
long have you
unlike
both
her.
been in Edinburgh?
I'd put. When did I put that? I didn't put anything there. He's probably been here for at least 50 years.
So you guys probably actually know each other if you've been here a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've
I
seen
think
him
Altair's
around.
moved around a bit, but he's
Mm-hmm.
been there at least maybe 15-ish years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So given that you're both council members, you'll be quite familiar with one another.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, carry on. Sorry.
Your brat, you trained her to do this, or is this part of your abilities, for lack of better word?
Both.
Huh.
One has the power to do it, but she is a rat, so she needed training to actually follow orders. Rats are pretty smart.
I looked into them a while ago. I'm interested in magic a little bit. Not of the Tremere kind, but of the stage kind.
Yes. I know nothing of either.
I could show you. I mean, not right now, obviously, but
I wish. Yeah, I was gonna say you can see his face.
Doing the coin trick, but both of you can't see fuck all.
No, just
Ta-da! All you hear
flowing
is
cards.
ta-da! That's what you hear. Wow, you made that disappear. Um, um, no, thank you.
It's not for everyone, I suppose.
Maybe, yeah. It's stage magic is like it's fake, right?
Most of it, yes, or mathematical, sometimes illusory. It depends. Or sometimes it's psychological as well. It entirely depends on how you're leading somebody on.
Yeah, that seems like something Ventry would like something to lead people on.
Yeah. No, it's definitely part of the part of the blood, I suppose. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, it's in our nature.
I was gonna try and insight that, but like I can't see you, bro, so it's fine. Anyway, I don't know. Yes, well, I hope you're good at it for your sake. I'm
Oh, the card
surprised.
tricks.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Ah, perhaps a little rusty, but no, not horrifically bad. No, I
Mm-hmm.
just don't tend to have time these days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, this has been great chat. I'm going to look into the back of the other house while Mitz gets in there.
Okay, I'll keep an ear out for her.
Good.
Just she's just gonna sit awkwardly underneath the kitchen window.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just gonna look at the back at the other house while Mitz gets in there.
Mm-hmm. The other house.
Didn't contribute talents to other project of investigating possible kindred. That's going on your performance report.
Your performance report.
Oh
Yeah, the
no.
report card for Sloan. Okay. The other just looks like it's a place of residence, and at this time of night, it's an empty kitchen. Is what
Mhm.
you're able to see. It looks like, just judging by decor, maybe an older couple. And eventually, Mitsuki is gonna emerge and come scuttling over to the general area that she assumes that you guys are in. She's got some sort of like psychic connection to you, Dragslav.
Mhm.
Um, And when she sort of like comes to rest from her scuttling and sits back, she seems to have acquired a bit of sandwich, it looks like, and is eating.
Hell yeah, Mitski.
Yeah.
Get everything you can get your little ratty hands on.
One of you guys have to snack tonight, you know?
Yeah. God, I'm so hungry. Dragosa will eventually come over and will pick up.
Mm.
Uh,
Now, do you have feral whispers?
I do.
Wonderful. I do so love getting to be animals. All right, you can make that connection.
Mm-hmm.
She will wait for you to talk first.
Mm-hmm. It's like a little. You can't, but the audience is all you see is like Dragoslav like a little scritch on the head, and it's just like, what did you see, little one?
Um, 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
3 and 1 confused. Smells like you, but not really, not quite, sort of like you.
Sort of. And is it known, because thin bloods were mentioned, that they can kind of like acquire, or is it more like a actually smell bad or smell like what I do?
Um, Not sure of polite answer. What do you mean?
You do not have to be polite.
Oh, your kind don't smell good.
Mm-hmm.
But then my kind don't either.
Okay.
One had a sandwich though. It's very tasty.
Good. Glad you're eating tonight. Did did any of them smell similar to the others we saw tonight? The lady and the magic man and the lady's
No.
coworker. Okay.
Smelled little. I smelled the red.
This is blood.
Hmm.
Okay. So interesting. Dragoslav will pipe up. You have question for Miski?
Me? Oh,
We're
hmm.
having conversation.
Oh, arguably more fascinating, and I have questions about that. But at the moment, nothing comes to mind. No.
She smelled blood. There's about 3 in there. And one of them smells like me, but not really. So could be Nosferatu Ghoul. Could be, if this is thin blood, maybe has Nosferatu power, has Nosferatu blood in.
Or maybe has client. Oh no, if it's been coming from one person exactly, then I think you're more likely to be right. You know, there is one way of doing this that's a little more direct. We know
Yes,
there's people coming in and out of here quite often, and we know that they're dealing something.
that would be on you. I do not do well with mortals.
I don't mind having a conversation.
Good. Shows initiative.
You're just gonna hear a little squeak that just sounds like a squeak to Altair, but you will hear you will hear Misty going, lettuce.
She's saying lettuce.
Yeah, has found a bit of lettuce inside of the sandwich.
Aww.
She's so happy.
She freaking loves
Um,
lettuce, yo.
Yeah. You go. I stay out here. I will watch. You take Misky. Put her in coat.
Is she happy with that?
She loves Pocket.
Okay. He'll make sure that his pocket's empty for
Mm.
Yeah.
Skitty to
He's
fit
like,
in.
It's
put it in
about to
other
not be
pocket.
empty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as you're kind of like passing her over to be put into a
Mm.
pocket, Altair, you're just gonna hear a rat doing little squeaks. But Dragoslav, you're here.
What did I hear? Sorry, you cut out.
I think it's too high pitched for a microphone.
Wee. I can't. No one can see it, but there's about as much of a smile as he can actually manage physically. Which is not much. He has no facial muscles. But he will tell Misky to like protect this one. Let me know if trouble starts and just listen.
Should I bite?
Bite if need to be.
But one of them smells like you guys.
Don't
The
bite
red-
that one.
The red smells like your red. Not like looks between the two of you with their tiny little head. Your red.
Not like my red, but specifically me or generally my type.
Type?
Like other people like me.
Not like the Warren ones.
Okay. Just stay hidden.
Okay.
Okay.
She like curls up into the pocket.
Yeah.
Like fully on her back so that she
Yeah.
can like rest the sandwich chunk on her
Yeah.
stomach and just eat it while she's in the pocket.
It's fucking Scooby Doo style.
Yeah.
They have
Amazing.
Nosferatu blood in there.
Mm.
Right, so I should be careful. Oh, I'm always
Yes.
careful. But
And did she mean that there was one of them was kindred, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
But she is able to identify for you when she can kind of get a vibe for kindred people, because unless they have specific either specific abilities or certain skills, animals can sense vampires because there's something off about them. So she has the ability to recognize kindred, but seems to have some kind of awareness that there's one in there that's a little kindred, but it felt different to her.
One is kindred, but I think Sheriff was right. Maybe thin blood.
all right, I'll do my best to not necessarily cause any problems.
Yes. I will be watching.
Thank you. I think we'll back over the fence.
You are gonna have to, yeah.
Cool. Hang on. So that was Dex and Athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Athletics.
And then I'm gonna
Dex.
hop over to the other pair for the last half hour just so that we can get their investigation too. Two's okay, and you can reroll that anyway. So yeah, it's not graceful, Alter. You don't necessarily completely hit the deck this time, but yeah, you feel it as you go over it. You're like,
he's getting
I am
old.
so glad that I am invisible right now. Unfortunately, that camera probably is picking up on your presence, which, you know.
He will have
Okay.
pointed out.
All right. Let's put a pin in that conversation for just now, just so that we can check in with our other pair. So, Lewis and Sloane, how do we get there, and how are you approaching your investigation in this area?
I think
Is
Lewis walks everywhere, but if Sloane has a different method of transportation that she's willing to offer, we
oh,
can
I was
talk
about
about
to ask, I don't know what the like typical transportation methods are in Edinburgh. Like
Uh,
what's commonly used.
sure. So, range of things. Uh, driving around normal. Taxis and similar things also common. There's a tram system throughout the center of Edinburgh. I don't know that there's one.
things.
I don't know where all of the trams go in terms of like the area that you need to go to specifically, but there are trams throughout the central part at least, and then buses are very common. So and given your position and likely wealth status, Sloan, you probably have, you could, if you wanted to, have a driver.
A taxi is fine.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
so if Lewis wants to, he doesn't have to pay. He can be in the taxi.
No,
Mhm.
I think if you hail a taxi, as soon as we get in,
Yeah.
Lewis is like, "That's on me this time."
I think there is an actual in the cab a small snort that's contained um as the
Mhm.
just to reply again is that's ever so kind of you, Mr. Cohen.
We're all in it together, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely, through thick and thin. Oh,
Mhm.
um, and I think they'll start going towards probably like a street away from this well site where everything had
E
supposedly happened.
Yes. There is an area in Dunby Dykes when you get to Holyrood Road that has some of the older buildings. A large section of that area is in fact newer. I guesstimate 60s, usually those sorts of like five-ish story blocks of flats that just went up in mass numbers is a large chunk of that that leads towards the slope of the volcanic plugs there. But there is an area that has a couple older streets, and it seems like it was down one area that is University of Holyrood. I might be able to mark that on your um map. Anyway, you can see older building. You know that it's an older building in Edinburgh because it is built with the sort of white yellow sandstone.
Mm.
Um, and that there has been enough um sort of chemical erosion to it that's starting to turn it into that darker color. So it's been there a little while. Um, and it looks like this map has you going down a little side street at the side of this building. Um, yes. I'll see. Yeah, we don't need to do that because that's going to mess up with the cameras.
Okay.
So you're able to get taxi to that area very easily and walk down that little side alleyway without any sort of problem. Nobody's going to get in your way.
All right. So this is a residential area more?
There isn't a residential area. It's like one side of the street is residential. The side that you're about to go down is an education building. It's part of the University of Edinburgh. By the looks like it's the English language building.
Okay. Is there any other significance that this part of Edinburgh would have as far as location goes?
Good question. I think you've been here quite a while, haven't you, Sloan? Is that fair to say?
I,
To Edinburgh.
I don't have to even have been in places myself a long time to know that I know well it's kind of my job to know a lot of
Yeah.
things about the town.
Yeah. And this kind of touches on where, to the mortal understanding, history that touches on the supernatural, and then to a more kindred understanding, probably activity that might have actually been mages, or at least just mortals who believed that they possessed some magic. The hills in that area, there's one in particular, and I can't remember which of the slopes it was. I could go away and look this up myself, I suppose, but there was found in a sort of like little container, little dolls, but they are believed to be sort of magical talismans in some way, that were buried up here. The exact purpose of them, mortals can only speculate. There was a lot of history in the area when the witch trials in Scotland were happening in the sort of 1600s. And so the area has some significance in that sense. It is not necessarily tied to kindred history, but it is where mortal and supernatural meet, in a historical sense. They are in a museum, I believe. The little dolls. I can't remember if they put them into National Museum of Scotland or not. Let me see.
So, just to be clear,
Yeah.
so back during the witch trial times, little figurines were buried here,
Yes.
and found afterwards.
Yes. They were found in essentially little coffins. There you go. Just so you have an image of them. And so it's believed that there was some magic going on there, and that is very close to where you are geographically. Where you are, I have pinged it, so if you go to the Google My Maps that I have in our Discord, you'll see ritual location has been added. And it is Arthur's Seat, which I can also ping. Arthur's Seat, which is the old volcanic plug that is a very dramatic little mountain, little hill. It's not little, you know what I mean. So there's some significance to the area in that sense, but also it is directly south, like maybe a 5-ish minute walk from areas that are significant to some of you. So Altair's Haven is just north of it, as well as the Tolbooth Tavern, because the Royal Mile runs past it. And then not too far away is also the Holyrood House Palace, which you know is clearly some manner of residence for the prince.
Okay. Um, for now, this will not be mentioned up until it becomes
Yeah.
useful once we get there. Yes.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. So you guys are able to head into this space. It won't take very long before you can find the location that was photographed. Casual cursory glance, you will see that the markings in the stone, and some of those scorch marks are indeed still there. It has not rained or had any significant moisture enough to wash away parts of that. Casual glance, there's nothing that you can see item wise, but now the two of you can apply either good old investigating or something supernatural if you wish, if you have an ability you would like to apply here for investigating the site.
I think for me at least, there's like this expectation of the skill set that Lewis will use on this.
Hmm.
And I will very much instead indeed use either the knowledge of the area and then also just the um, I'm looking at the facts that are in front of me instead of the mystical meaning behind them. So I would definitely like to just do an investigation.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just reminding myself of what one of my things is because it's
Mm-hmm.
odd. It's just a moment.
So being the Tremere being the only spellcaster of the team where you're like, hold on, guys, I just need to
I
read the
have
spell description and if I have the
bizarre,
components and if I
I know it's my turn, you guys. Wait.
yeah.
yeah, promise,
I
honest.
gotta figure out if I should have done this 3 nights ago or if I can do it right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Do I do a wits investigation?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
I'll definitely use
Mm-hmm,
a little
mm-hmm.
bit of willpower on that.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Okay, so on the actual box that you can see your roll, you're gonna right click on the box itself, and then you'll get a drop. Technically, it's a drop up rather than a drop down, and there's willpower reroll, and then you'll click on your 3 blank dice.
Beautiful.
Much better.
Much better.
Much better. What I will ask is, what are some of the specifics of what Sloan is looking into, so that I can tailor your information, and then I will drop some more sprinkles on it because it's a crit.
I think it's better to wait
Sure.
until Lewis does something because I'm like, okay, if he has some more of an inkling of what happened here, I might be able to trace this or anything like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think
Sure,
the
sure.
most logical, way
Yeah.
of doing that is first see what he gets and wait.
Sure.
Yeah, so I suppose my sort of main focus is on it's a bit similar to for the danger of sort of repeating myself, but I suppose it's more about I now suspect that this wasn't a kindred ritual
Yeah.
type of magic,
Mm.
but now that I'm on site, I'm going to try and sort of further narrow down what type of sort of school of magical thought this would be,
Mm-hmm.
as well as sort of using, I suppose, I keep coming. I think Lewis keeps coming back to this piece of fabric that Altair sort of handed him, and it kind of like is. So I suppose I'm also like leaning on trying to work out if there's any how would the sun cause burns in this way if Altair is to be believed, which
Mm-hmm.
he showed no reason why to doubt his claims, even if I don't fully understand how it could be true.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I suppose it's a case of I think I'm just looking at it using my aspect, sort of using sort of like trying to sort of see into the other side, like into sort of the magical sort of the spiritual energy world kind of thing. So I mean, I'm not great at this, but I do have sense the unseen. So I suppose
Yeah.
sort of using that as a framing device almost.
Absolutely. Sense the unseen would be interesting here for sure.
Um, yeah, so I suppose that's sort of the way I do it. I think concentrate and sort of try and summon some of that sort of
Sure.
flick my eyes into the higher realms.
Okay. What I'm going to say is, because we're not necessarily looking for somebody who is hidden and that nature of that type of role, what I'm going to ask is, and you're tapping into something a bit more esoteric in a way,
Yes.
so I am going to look for, it's an intelligence awareness.
Okay.
And because you're using Sense the Unseen, you can add your aspects to this.
Would love to do that. My No, that won't be appropriate. Sorry, I'm just I'm checking, making
You're
sure.
okay.
Cause blood potency doesn't work that way.
Mm.
That's
Oh,
that's a very poor roll for quite a large dice pool.
obscene. Are you
I'm
going to
going
roll for
to
a
try
reroll?
and re-roll some of those die, I
Yeah.
think.
Rude is what that
Yeah.
is.
That's still not much better,
No,
honestly, but here we are.
but it's
I'm
3.
tired, I'm hungry, I'm cranky.
Yeah. Okay. So, for Lewis, and opening up your senses in this way,
Mhm.
you are going to sense an effect, a supernatural effect in this area. And it's not blood sorcery, because you can recognize those pretty quick. But it's not the magic of the mages either necessarily. There's a certain taste of the air you would get with that, I would guess. But you see that this area, where it is there's a sort of like back wall, and then there is a section underneath it where these items were clearly placed. And then either side of this is you know how places have essentially rows of slightly raised flower bed effect, where they might plant something so that it looks nice in the spring and the summer. There appears to be magic in that, in the soil almost. And what I will say is that there's a plant there that appears to be at a level of health, and it's not full bloom with flowers, but it's not the sort of vibrancy of a plant you would expect in November in Scotland. So it is being affected by something, and I will say, one thing that I'm going to layer into this. So Sloan, you can angle your 6 successes in whatever direction you want, but a part of your 6 successes of investigating this area is that, and I guess it's something that Lewis is going to figure out, not from your roll, but from the fact that you're at 3 hunger, you can sense vitae in the soil.
Interesting.
So Sloan, you can smell it, and Lewis, you're kind of you'll pick up on that as well the closer that you get to it. And again, that's not because your roll was successful, it's because you're really hungry. And you can smell it. So to that end, Sloan, how do you want to direct those 6 successes that crit?
Yeah, hmm. I guess there's aspects to it of, if we know that there is vitae in the soil here,
Mm-hmm.
is it just here? Does it spread any further? Is there any point elsewhere in this street that it's
Mm-hmm.
in?
Mm.
If vitae was spilled there, is there any that was spilled outside of the little area? Um, are there any markings of anything else that was done to the soil? Um, and is there a way of finding specific marks that kind of like make a chain of events
Mm-hmm.
clearer, of like
Mm-hmm.
one thing happening before the
Mm.
other? Um,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And also regarding, knowing
Mm.
that there was like a figure that was basically burned there, kind of trying to make a chain of events, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Um, so exact order is perhaps tricky. However, um, you're you're seeing some connective tissue with what you're seeing here, and just that sort of like logical dot connecting going on of a figure, and some fabric that have been scorched, but Altair swears it was sunlight and not fire, and there's no real sign here that fire was here, because there's no obvious ash. And so some intense sunlight was in the area, and if you're thinking about this plant that has been able to now thrive in a way that isn't normal or natural for November, and there is vitae seemingly in the soil around it. There's no vitae in any other area. It looks like it has intentionally been letted into the soil here. And this plant is blooming and healthy, perhaps as a result of A, vitae, B, sunlight. It's an odd connection of two things that further digging may be needed to tease that out. But the symbolism behind it with these rays bearing down upon the ground here, it feels like those things were connected and intentional, the way that a ritual has to be. Something, I guess, more instinctual for Lewis, but Sloane has done a lot of investigation. You didn't get to where you are without being able to get into other headspaces that are perhaps not your own. And for rituals to work, there has to be intention behind it. And so whatever intention was here, it's interesting because the sort of blood magic that kindred do is not the sort that is about invigorating, enriching, blooming, positive natural things that involve a plant coming healthy again and sunlight. So focused, intentional. It's not like a wound was created and somebody has moved and has been bleeding. You also know that vitae doesn't really do that. It's not so non-viscous to drip in the way that human blood does. So it's very interesting. The exact connecting dots. What I will say, I will allow it's a wits resolve roll for, or is it wits intelligence? Is wits intelligence for mental recall. And I will allow you specifically, Sloane, to roll for that to see if there's something in history that you're able to connect here, if you like. So it's intelligence and wits intelligence.
Sure, because I'm also asking like how high is the sun symbol up, as in like do I have to think that this was done during the day when just, there was sunlight all around here, or is there some kind of like a strange way that like sunlight could have come like from the symbol or whatnot? That is also
Yeah,
a question.
quite possibly. So yeah, we'll see what your role is. I can give you some manner of answer to that regardless, but
I'll keep that.
okay.
Oh wait, actually, the session is almost over.
Yeah.
Hold off.
There we go. 4 is great. I think there's a few little threads forming, and it's not that you're going to get a crystal clear answer here, but the fact that these threads have appeared, they are not things that every mind is going to be able to jump to. A ritual like this, given the nature of the themes that seem to be involved, it's almost as if it's some sort of weird warping of true faith in a way, because this feels ritualistic in an almost
Worshipy
religious way. Yeah, like a worshipy way. This is something that like you would see this in countless cultures that do things like worshipping sun gods. And everything that is implied with gods that tend to have that domain. So it feels worshipy, and you do know that true faith is an active power that exists in the supernatural world because it can be used against you guys. And it's not common for kindred to possess true faith. So there's that. And then because there was Vitae involved, either a kindred has been able to do something that seems to have harnessed the power of the sun, at least momentarily, in this area in a concentrated form. That's possible. Or somebody had Vitae. You know that some people with their ghouls will leave them with a vial of blood because for the act of maintaining a ghoul, it doesn't have to be straight out of the vein. So maybe somebody just had Vitae and was using it as part of a ritual during the day. So it's kind of those two things are possible. But for the nature of how this has occurred, it shouldn't have been possible just on a sunny day to create the kind of scorch mark that you saw in the fabric and what is occurring here in the stone. So there's quite a lot to this. This is actually there's a lot of implications going on in what you're observing here.
Just before we
I don't
sort
quite
of, you go.
I don't quite remember, Seneschal. Have you ever been outside of Edinburgh?
Myself, not for a very long time.
So you were in other places before?
I suppose I did some minor traveling in my youth, but not for a lot. I've lived here the vast majority of my life.
Hmm. Well, I never had the pleasure of being around the right places at the right time for it. I did always hear fascinating stories about certain cultures and beliefs, and, well, worship has always been an intrinsic part of human society. Can't help but look up to something and need something to grasp onto to, well, aspire to, in a way, I suppose. If Nazar, I was never the religious type, but I do know, and well, especially as our kind now, there is weight to faith, and there is weight to religion. Whatever happened here seems to be very close to it in a worshipping way, perhaps even worshipping the sun, the powers that it aligns to. It's quite curious. I mean, definitely not the first time in history this would have happened. Just curious to do it in a city like Edinburgh, where rain is the thing that happens more than sun.
I confess, no, I don't. I can't think of any cults to the sun that have popped up in my time in the city.
And I think it is those words leaving Lewis's mouth that I think is going to tug at a little thread for you, Sloane, because um it's very ingrained in your clan, British Ventrue specifically, that there was a Ventrue, died a long time ago, who ruled in these parts, who was very much a Ventrue. Some people believe like the poster child for Ventrue, and did for a time have a cult around him, and that was Mithras. The
Do I
exact
know if it had any connection to the sun in any way?
Yes, because Mithras is in actual human history was a Persian and then Roman god of the sun. So a lot of people believed the kindred couldn't actually also be a god of the sun. That's not how that works. but there are some people who believed it, certainly in Roman times. So it's going to be a little, moment for you. Something to perhaps go and do some digging, or indeed try to reach out to people of your ilk to see if they have any further understanding. And on that little nugget of bombshell, Mithras, who? What? Don't know what you're talking about. It is in fact the end of our session. We're at time, everybody. We can see what happens when Altair tries to pretend to be somebody needing drugs. Next session. For now, however, we are finished here. Thank you very much for joining us. We are going to go around the table and let you know who we are, who we have been playing, and where you can find us. And I will go at the end. So we will start with Penitent, please.
Hello, I am and have been all evening Penitent. I have been playing Lewis Cowan. I am not on the internet broadly. It's bad. I don't like it, so I try not to be on it very much. You can see me. You can find me here sometimes on the Transmissions RPGs. But sort of otherwise, I sort of dot around sometimes, but mostly kind of keep to myself. That's me.
Hello, hello. I'm Syrinx. I had the pleasure of playing a horrible Ventrue, and I will in the future as well. I love TTRPG stuff, LARP stuff, and especially Vampire. I don't have anything else like actively going on right now, so just stick around here. It's nice, it's cozy. It'll be nice and cozy for the next few weeks. Yay!
So cozy by the light of the sun.
Absolutely, it's nice and warm. Um, so just stay here for now. Thank you.
Hoodie, I've been Magpie. I have been playing Altair, your very unfortunate hound. You can find me on Blue Sky at Antique Horror, and that's about it. I just yap about things. That's my role.
Hey demons, it's me, your boy, Satan. I have been yours truly, the ever so chipper Dragoslav Petrovich. Um, and yeah, you can find me here playing a lot of different games. Next week, our flagship show, Blood and Lyrium, is gonna be back, which I play a very different character. There. So different. And you can find me in a few other games here. Valeria's channel, Hepgala channel, and just around the internet, social media, mostly on Blue Sky. Mostly I just repost art that I really like. But yeah, if you like my art, which is these guys around here that you can see, I drew those. Stick around. Maybe sometime soon I might have some commissions open. Yay!
Exciting.
Yes.
And hi, it's me. I'm Emma, handling the internet here, being your storyteller and weaving this story with these wonderful people. As for where you can find me at the moment in terms of active things, like has been said, next Tuesday we are back at our Blunderium Dragon Age story to carry that on, so that'll be exciting. Tonight over on Science and Sorcery, it has aired, so you can go and check it out on YouTube. The second part to our 10 candle dinosaur very sad game is real sad at the end, y'all. Bring some tissues. Other than that, I have a few things that are teed up to be happening through the sort of late spring, summer, so just keep an eye on the socials. We are going to be raiding today. We don't always, because there's not always people on to be raiding. But Torrin talks creativity. Torrin is one of our cast members in our
Planetarium
game.
game.
Yeah. So please do stick around and say hello to Torrin as we go and raid. See you next week, everybody.